AV8 Flight Club. Today we're just doing a little sightseeing trip on Lord Howe. It is a little island just off Australia, and it's got one of the most dangerous airfields probably in aviation. So today what we're going to do is we're going to do a basic sightseeing. We're going to check the aircraft out, set it all up and stuff, take off, and we're going to do a bit of sightseeing just around the mountains, and then we're going to see a famous landmark of Lord Howe, or just off the coast of Lord Howe. So today we're going to be having some voiceovers by Bush Talk Radio, which is a free fantastic plugin for Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I'm currently using the new AUC Lord Howe Airport, which has actually got some of my favourites, the animated cows. So quite an interesting one for you guys. And one thing I found interesting, I've noticed, is the windsocks are normally orange, but I've checked and it's not in this colour, it is actually that colour in real life. So if you guys could put in the comments and explain to me why that colour, that would be fantastic. So what we're going to do is now we're going to set the aircraft up. So we're going to do it in our new livery for the Cessna 172. So before I do, what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to give you a little tour, a little guided tour of the airport around this. Let's get rid of this Bush Talk Radio and VFR map. So it's reasonably priced. I believe it was just under £10 I paid for this. So you've got fantastic modelling. It's a very small little airport, it's nothing major. Obviously Qantas Link, they fly here as well, so it's a very, very small island. You do have to take into account that it's just an island. Right, so this airport is actually detailed probably more than what you'd expect. You can actually read all the signs crystal clear. The views, everything's all in 4K or 8K textures. It's absolutely fantastic. And believe it or not, they've even modelled the cars. So you've actually got cars that on the night time, so if I swap the time now, they actually light up. So again, all these little alert things that they do is fantastic. So, welcome to Lord Howe Airport. I presume you've got this is the main door, is it? Yep. And they've actually modelled the people here fantastic as well. So, they've even modelled all the little sweets and snacks like little Pringles down there. It's just all these little touches just make this place really, really interesting. So moving on, now coming to the terminal, which is very well modelled as well. Very fantastic models here. I believe when I looked on looking for these models to do myself, they're about £200 to £300 for these models, so it proves it's a massive deal for £10. And obviously, you can see the detail. I know this guy's animated, and that's done by Microsoft. The texture's a bit blurry on his coat, but that's not done by Lord Howe. That's just a generic staff member. But look at that. But as we move through the door, they've actually modelled outside as well, so where the path blends in. All the little stones, all the rock work and everything, it's just fantastic. If it's a bit laggy on the stream, guys, you have to forgive me. Obviously I'm running the sim at full 4K as I normally do. It doesn't lag when I'm like now when I'm moving, it's perfectly fine. It always seems to be the stream when I'm streaming, so I think I need a slightly powerful CPU than I've got. So if there's any problems, just please let me know, and then I'll work towards a new CPU. But anyway, let's get in the aircraft. I'm not going to bore you too much with the walking around. right now, obviously the aircraft's turned off, we're just going to put the master switch on. And then I'm going to put the bus 1 and bus 2 on. Just wait for the initialisation. Get rid of that warning sign. And then we're going to turn it on. Now, I have got Logitech panels, guys, so certain things like the that should be out like that from cold and dark, the mixture. So I've had to make sure it was in because of my flight controls. I'm not touching no flight controls, I'm moving everything on the actual aircraft itself. So you guys can see what's happening.
Okay.
Now, one thing I've noticed is, yeah, you've got parking brake here. But the aircraft that I'm learning to fly in real life, they do have a parking brake, but it never gets turned on, so it's very rare you see these Cessnas with parking brakes on, or not in the UK at least. So let me know if that's any different for you guys. So the next one, we're going to put us a beacon on. So we want to make sure that everyone's aware that this aircraft is about to move. Next, now the nav lights technically don't have to be on during the day, but I'm going to put them on anyway. Because I feel like they should be on, but that's just the difference I've noticed in real life. Not all aircraft come with a beacon. Oh, sorry, they come with a beacon, but not all lights come with nav lights. Mainly the old Cessna 150s that I'm learning don't come with nav lights, so it can't do night flying, but this aircraft can. So strobe lights should be off if you're not on the runway. Make sure the fuel pump's on. It's already on this. Make sure aircraft's set into trim. So now what we're going to do is, in real life you would have to shout prop clear, or clear prop, and then, but don't just shout it, look round, visually look round, even behind you, make sure that there's no one behind you, especially them cows. Don't want to be tipping a cow over, do we? So moving on, we're going to start to magnetos, and then we're going to set to start. Now my throttle, you've noticed the throttle's on full, and that's again, I've got the throttle left onto full, but it does happen in real life, believe it or not. People do leave the throttle in real life, but that's important for you as a pilot to make sure your throttle's fully out before you start the engine. So that is a mistake on my part. So anyway, we're not flying on GPS, so we are not going to be using the autopilot. So if you was using the autopilot, you'd make sure you set it to GPS. So we're not on the GPS, so we might as well just leave it off. There's no rule, we're just doing a sightseeing around the island. So just have a quick look round, because I've not checked this airport out properly. It's just in grass strips, I presume. I'm going to taxi to the left, and I'm going to try and get onto the strip there. Follow it in. Just looking now, because the weather's not fantastic. Is it on live weather? It was raining about 5 minutes ago before I started streaming, so it's looking a bit clear. Well, no, it's looking just as bad over there than over there. You can actually see it raining. So what we're going to do is now we're going to start this taxi. I'm going to skip all the checklists and stuff because I don't want to keep it interesting for you guys. So what we do is power checks depending on the airport's rules or airfield rules. Power checks ideally need to be complete before you enter the runway, but some airports you have to enter the runway and go to a different holding point to do power checks to go onto the runway. But we're going to taxi it and then just get straight set off. So make sure its parking brake's off, which it is. Bit more power on this Logitech power. For some reason I have to have it 3/4 up for it to set off, but in real life the slightest move and the aircraft moves. I didn't realise I left the blue taxi lights navigation ribbon on. Yeah, alright, we'll still use it. Obviously, we're not going to be using ATC, so you don't have to worry about ATC. Like I say, it's just a sightseeing tour, but even if in real life we would have the nav set up to obviously Lord Howe's radio. I'm not on that same, and I do have traffic turned off right now, so we would, normally what you do is, you stop here, you contact the ATC, always give it a good left, a good right, always check them blind spots, especially on an eye level wing aircraft for these incoming traffic, so make sure you do check that. So as soon as we're up and everything, I will put the bus stop radio on, just to tell you a bit about the island and stuff. It's roughly about a minute, and what bus stop radio does, it reads from Wikipedia, so any information that's provided by Wikipedia is also included in bus stop radio, and it's fantastic because if there's something I would include about this island that I feel is missing from Wikipedia, I could message bus stop radio, or not message, sorry, type it all in on their website and it puts it in automatically for you, so I could talk about anything I want about this island. There's a very small chance that any of you guys have been to this island, but if anybody's been to it, can you please tell me a bit about it? It'd be very interesting in the comments. So I'm not rushing off the runway yet. I want you guys to see as much scenery as you can. That's the whole idea of this trip. So as soon as we're up there, I may have to change the weather because it's looking a bit gloomy just on the edges of the island there. So we'll see how we get on. Right, so gradually increase the throttle. Yeah, speed. I'm hoping live weather's working. It doesn't flip the aircraft like it normally does for me. When I turn live weather off, it flies fine. Touch wood, it works. So once we get roughly about 50 to 60 knots, right now we're able for us to climb, we climb. It's a bit bumpy around here. Nearly a tailwind at 11 knots, which is not too bad. We're going to do a bit forward trim up so it climbs. I don't want to go below 65 knots on the climb, so normally in the 150 it's a 60 knot climb. So once we get to maybe 1,000 feet, no, I'll go to 1,500 feet, just a little bit of wind there. I can fight with it a bit then. So it's 18 knot wind, so it's quite windy down here. But maybe I'm just looking at now at the clouds at 1,500 feet, might be a bit too much for the clouds. Obviously in real life it's not, you need to be well above the mountains on this, but like I say, it's sightseeing, so we'll have a bit of fun. Level off here. Try and fight those winds. Wow, the winds have just gone from 18 knots to 27 knots. Keep that power there, and I don't want it to decrease. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put bus stop radio on. When you fly over these landmarks, it does talk automatic, but I already cancelled it and start talking when we landed. So, what I'm doing now, I'll put it on for you.
Aquatic life in the scenic lagoon below me. It's no wonder Australia's Lord Howe Island remains blissfully remote. The 2-hour flight from Sydney to this UNESCO World Heritage Site deters many tourists, especially those who have already seen airtimes in the double digits. Plus, travelers who do make the journey are capped at 400 at any given time. Once there, active types can snorkel the colourful reef teeming with aquatic life in the scenic lagoon below Mount Gower, or join the turtles that idle on the cornmeal sand at Old Settlement Beach.
About the aircraft is if you have it in trim, perfectly in trim, you have a very smooth flight. One thing I've noticed with FS 2020, it doesn't like to stay in trim. You're always adjusting the trim. Obviously in bad weather like this you wouldn't be doing it in real life, but if you get a perfect trim on an aircraft you will have a smooth, healthy flight. Right now the clouds are a bit too much, so we've actually got a rainbow to us right there. So I'm going to keep swapping views so you guys can just see it. But what a moment to get a rainbow, look at that. I'm actually going to get a screenshot of that, guys. So it's just going to pause for a split second. That is beautiful. So this island that we're going to, it's actually, it's not something you can walk on, I don't believe. Just like a rock formation out in the sea. But I'm just looking now because I want to keep it 1,000 feet, ideally. Without the weather bouncing us everywhere all the time. We do need to keep following the island right. It's very sensitive as well, because we are drifting slightly off course to the rock formation.
500.
There we go. Keep on that. There's actually rainbows everywhere. It's actually quite interesting. This difficult, obviously. Trying to keep it perfectly fine in this, the wind's changing constantly on the sim. Massive shout out to everyone that's flown with us during the UK series, and a massive shout out to the people that's arranged their flights. You've done a fantastic job. I'm absolutely disappointed that I've not been able to fly much of the UK series myself, but I've flown a couple of the plans, and I tell you now, those who are still interested in wanting to fly with us, you're going to love the Canada plans. The UK series were a massive success, and it was also a massive change to the way we do things at AV8 Flight Club. So we've now got a massive structure in place for you guys to enjoy, plenty of content. We are constantly updating, so we are also constantly doing non-planned VFR and IFR trips, so please take part if you are very interested. If you are very nervous to fly with us on VATSIM, you do not have to be scared. We have got fully trained staff, and they will be happy to help you and show you the basic ropes of VATSIM. At AV8 Flight Club, we have not just pilots. We're not just a normal virtual flight club. We also have a mixture of things. So like some VFR, IFR. We do non-VFR. We've got plenty of projects in the pipeline that's not been announced yet. So you are going to love it. We also have ATC from VATSIM, so we do have ATC controllers joining us as well. So if we ever need to do a flight, all we're going to do is contact a controller, see if they're active, they can become active. They will be at that airport for us and give us ATC. So if you are wanting an authentic experience, we might be the solution to your problems that you've had. I know for myself, FS 2020's ATC has been terrible. I've not had any fantastic ATC since prepared. My X-plane did not have any decent ATC. I didn't have it X-plane long enough to be able to develop it as I'd like to. I know I had a Pro ATC for prepared, if any of you guys have heard of it. Fantastic software. But obviously it doesn't beat VATSIM when you've got active controllers on, which you can't beat in real life. Close to real life as possible. So I'm just going to actually look where we are now. Bush Talk Radio. I'm still quite a bit out at the moment, I'm afraid. So you see if I can just show you on the map on here for you. So we want to slightly to the left. I'm heading to that bit of green there. But I'm going to get a bit more harder throttle and get that engine pushing. Ah, you can actually see it just there, just under the cloud line there. I want to keep it 1,000 feet. Keep it 1,000 feet. I should just hit below the cloud lines. So the winds have just changed from 18 knots to 28 knots. So we've got a bit of a tailwind, which is actually pushing us. It's almost a tailwind, it's just a bit to the side, but it's still pushing us. And it is pushing us in the direction we want to be going, so that's fantastic. now, and I believe that is actually mainland over there, Australia. Maybe wrong. Let's have a look. No, definitely not. Definitely not mainland. In fact, the mainland's on the left-hand side, so it's definitely not Australia. If it is anything, it's probably that bit of land that's over there. I'm not sure what that is. If I zoom out on my other map, I might be able to tell you where it is. I don't think it's actually land. I think that was just, it looked like land but it's not. I can't see any land that's near it. So right now, you can just see that we're approaching Ball's Island. Or Ball's Pyramid they call it. I wonder why it's called Ball's Pyramid. We'll soon find out. Just to remind everyone who's watching the stream, I am currently undergoing my PPL. I've done one solo, but I'm still in my early stages, if you call it. So please be aware that I'm not used to the G1000 in any way, and I do not claim to be a real pilot in any way. I am currently learning, so I'm not here to try and teach anyone how to fly. This is purely just for entertainment purposes. If you are interested in real flying and you do want to learn real flying, I recommend actually going for real flying. But if you are wanting to learn from simulator basics, we do have some people in our group that are pilots and are willing to help you. And we do actually, I won't necessarily train you for the real thing, we'll train you how to use it on your simulator. So as we approach, I'm actually going to play the video for you. Not the video, sorry, just the description of it.
Ball's Pyramid is an erosional remnant of a shield volcano and caldera lying 20 kilometers southeast of Lord Howe Island in the Pacific Ocean. It is 562 meters high, while measuring only 1,100 meters in length and 300 meters across, making it the tallest volcanic stack in the world. Ball's Pyramid is part of the Lord Howe Island Marine Park in Australia and is over 643 kilometers northeast of Sydney, New South Wales. Steep and eroded, and formed 6.4 million years ago, Ball's Pyramid is positioned in the center of a submarine shelf and is surrounded by rough seas, making any approach difficult.
just look at the quality of this. To be able to experience this, it's just amazing.
Ball's Pyramid is an erosional remnant of a shield volcano and caldera lying 20 kilometers.
Sorry guys, like I said, it does come on automatic stop radio, so we've just got to would start talking about it, but we don't want it on, because we just had it on. Just look at that, that is amazing. What we'll do is we'll do one more lap with you guys around it, and then we're going to head back to Lord Howe, and we are going to attempt to land on there without flipping the aircraft on this one. Hopefully live weather is behaving. Amazing, the texture quality on that. That is just amazing. I mean, again, this is AUC, and it's the Lord Howe. Everything that they've done in this airfield part, as small as it is, it's well worth the money. Reflection of the clouds there from up there. I just love how the water just looks like it's swaying and actually hitting the rocks there. It's something we've never seen in Flight Sim before. If anybody's interested in the music that's playing, it's called Colour 2. My Microsoft Flight Simulator. It isn't the only 3-minute song, but I've got on a 3-hour loop, just to try and give it a bit of relaxing music to you guys. Again, I'll give you a view outside. Right, what we're going to do is we'll now leave the island, and we are going to head back to Lord Howe. Just make sure we're in the right direction. Slightly to the right. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to give it a bit more power to get there a bit quicker. Obviously, when you add power to an aircraft, it does just start trimming back, so you just need a bit of forward trim just so you don't lose the altitude you want to maintain. So right now we're at 1500 feet, that's the altitude at that Ultra Traveller. I believe if we were doing this real sightseeing tour, I believe that this aircraft would have to be at 3000 feet plus the ocean. We're doing it at 1500 feet, just skimming the edge of the clouds. 32 knots, so we've got a nice rainbow just to the left there. There's actually quite a few rainbows on the sightseeing tour, it's been very interesting. So, Lord Howe is just there on the right hand side, as we can see on the G1000. We're down to go below 1500 feet now. I'm going to be a far map just to confirm that we are approaching Lord Howe. So what happens is, Lord Howe, there's two ways we can get into this airport, but I'm going to do it probably from the east side of the island. Yeah, we'll do it from the east side of the island. And that is the approach really casual on the left, just in between the two mountains. They've actually modelled Lord Howe quite fine. End of the runway when we're taking off, which was roughly down here. They've actually modelled people on the beach just watching the aircraft. They've even modelled a person walking his dog. His dog sat down and he stood there. It's nice, classic Volkswagen Beetle van down there. Remember the old Beetles? So right now, I've gone 1,000 feet, or just slightly under 1,000 feet due to the weather, but I don't want to lose too much power. So the winds up there seem to be at 32 knots, this seems to be a lot less bouncy. Always needs to be in the green. That's where you know you're in the safe zone. So as you can see, we are approaching the east side of the island. You just see Lord Howe in the distance over there. And it looks like the weather's really, really bad now since we've left. Tiny bit more power. Get that extra bit of home to go. What I'm going to do is now, I'm going to make sure that my strobe lights are off, but they should be on. That's my mistake, guys. Always make sure your strobe lights are on. I am going to put my landing and taxi lights on. There's no car beat or anything like that, so we don't have to worry about that. Just make sure our lights are on. So what I'm going to do is now, I'm going to ease it to the island, because the island's to the left there. I'm actually going to control it and start our descent. As we can't see the airport, it's going to be very difficult, so we need to ideally get some flaps in as soon as possible. Obviously trim the aircraft up so it's not too much. I'm actually nervous at this landing, guys. It's the worst weather I've flown in on the sim. So I want to give it one stage of flaps now, so 10 degrees flaps, 20 degrees of flaps now. I'm just looking for the airport now, and it's not to the right, so it's keep that speed up slowly to go below 65 knots. Don't want out of the wide bar just down there. Full speed. This is very, very dangerous. I would not highly recommend this in real life. So what I'm doing now, I am going to turn full speed off. I am going to trust my navigation on the G1000. You would never ever attempt this in real life, especially with a mountainous terrain like this. So make sure we've got full flaps, AV8, and go straight down. Very bumpy weather here, guys. Very bumpy. As we're coming in, full throttle down. And just keep it down till we go to the landing. I'll try to. Bit of an hard landing, but not bad for this weather. Full maximum braking. This was a very scary landing. Obviously I'm not scared real landing, I was just a bit nervous for the stream for you guys. So I was in full rudder to the right. We're a bit more throttle to keep us going. And we are going to taxi back. I am interested in what that is over there. Don't know what that is. Is it a texture bug with the rain? I don't know. Maybe something I might have to put there, you'll see. It's the first time I've seen this airport in this bad weather. So, what we're going to do is now, because I don't want to flick any stones up into the wings, I want to put full flaps up. Strobe lights on until you disembark the runway. Always keep your landing lights on, your taxi lights right now. Most aircraft only come with, but for the Cessna anyway, for the 172 and that, is normally landing taxi lights. So all aircraft are different. So I don't know what that is. It just must be something FS 2020 renderings. The textures are fine. So right now we're following the taxi line. There's no one inbound or outbound of the runway, so we are going to make sure that we do follow the rules and disembark safely. So I'm just for training purposes. What we'll do is now, obviously contact AV8, Lord Howe. So my call sign is AV8005 as disembarked, but you would always say, so for example it's not controlled, so you would say Lord Howe traffic, AV85 as disembarked, and then obviously you give them the holding point. And on in this case, I believe there's only one holding point on this runway, which there is. Or disembark the runway because there's no lettering on here right now. So all we're going to do is now we turn our strobe lights off, make sure flaps are up, say R, and then we're just going to steadily taxi back to the grass stand. Make sure you leave your nav lights and everything on right now. Might as well leave your light. Normally you just turn your landing lights off and you have just taxi lights on, but we're going to have taxi lights on and landing lights on just for the weather. So I presume all these yellow cones are for aircraft to tie down on. So what we're going to do is we're going to taxi to that one next to the cows. one thing that they didn't have to do is animate the cows, and I think that's what makes this airport unique. It's just, they're so good. I've seen many airports release animals lately, like for example, so if you've got the Antarctica one done by Aerosoft, you've got some fantastic penguins, animated icebergs, and animated ships and land vehicles such as sledges and stuff like that. Your snow skis. So right now, it's just a matter of keeping an eye on that cone, making sure that there's no one else around you, and obviously like that, but not. Alright, so what we're going to do is now, we're going to push back the aircraft. Let me just get my Logitech panels in order, there we go. Because what's happening is, when I'm doing my Logitech panels, I've interacted with this, so it doesn't like me to interact with my Logitech panels if I'm interacting with all these switches. The lights, you've got to make sure that your Logitech panel switches are matching this, because if it doesn't, it'll just mess up. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to watch this cone here, and we're going to park up. And also, if you've got the Logitech rudder pedals, it has like a brake to them for some reason. I don't know why. It's like a set parking brake. Make sure there's no one about. Stop there. What we're going to do is now we're going to leave this parking brake off. Keep your brakes on. We're going to turn our taxi lights off, landing lights off, nav lights off. Vehicle. Also, you make sure you pull the mixture out. Never turn it off with a key. Once that's done, then you can flick your key all the way back. First of warning, sign off. Make sure your fuel pump's turned off. Most aircraft tend to leave it on if they're going out the same day. Turn your navigation busters off. And then turn your master switches off. So, we are going to push back. It's not the best parking, I'm not going to lie. It's probably one of the worst parkings I've ever done. But just before we finish off the stream, massive thank you for you guys that's come to watch the stream. It's been an honour to do this stream for you guys. It's my second stream with AV8 Flight Club. If you are interested in these streams, please comment in the box and I will try to improve each stream as I go along. Just to have a quick fly over, I'm just really fascinated how they've done these and the model of the cows. They even blink, believe it or not. Probably the eyes look a bit weird when they blink like, but obviously it's just really interesting. Just look at that. It's like a Jersey cow. Look at that, Jersey cows in. Just imagine getting screenshots with the aircraft coming in there. Show how many people have done that. But amazing. So everyone, thank you for flying with AV8 Flight Club. I hope you've enjoyed this flight and this sightseeing tour of Lord Howe, Australia. I'm very interested to do this sightseeing tour again, but do it a bit more in depth. It has been very interesting, the landing challenge in the rain. Next time we'll do a view of the whole island, not just the landmarks. We'll see some animated boats and stuff, and then what we'll do is we'll look for different sort of areas around the world to have a view. So again, thank you for flying with us. Enjoy the rest of your evenings.